Welcome to Decades of Horror, the classic era.
This has become an evil place, corrupt and evil. Ignorant fools, peasants. Oh, good. Good evening, sir. Ever so sorry, man. Beg your pardon.
This is episode 168, recorded January 5th, 2024.
Gruesome Magazine.
And this will be our first episode of 2024. And the first one recorded in 2024.
Can you hear me eating this cookie?
Who am I? What is the meaning of this? All right. I am your host, Jeff Mohr. On this podcast, we cover the good, the bad, maybe even the ugly horror films released since the beginning of time through 1969. In each episode, we'll discuss the monsters, spirits, psychos, and villains that have haunted movie-going audiences since the dawn of film history. With me this week are my incredible co-hosts. First up is Chad Hunt, co-host on Decades of Horror, the All of Them, film producer, director with Freak Havoc Productions, and comic book artist and writer. How you doing, Chad?
I'm awake.
Still, for now. For now.
Talk to me in 30 minutes or 45 minutes from now when you're reading who the janitor was on this production.
No, not happening. Not happening. Also with us is Daphne, who is awesome, stupendous, and likable as hell. How you doing, Daphne?
I'm doing really good. So glad to see you guys.
It is good to see you. We've had a little trouble scheduling this episode, and it's kind of after our bedtimes. But here we go. And also with us is Baron von Herr Dr. Rob.
No. How you doing? I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. I really am.
I say we do a Hammer film.
Well, okay. That sounds like a good
We've never done one of those before.
And by the way, Decades of Horror is partnering with Play Now Media, and you can check out the Decades of Horror, the Classic Era episodes on the Classic Horror Movie Channel, Classic Sci-Fi Movie Channel, and the Wicked Horror TV channel. And there's lots of good stuff there. Yeah. All right. And it's reasonably, it's either free with ads or reasonably priced if you want to pay for a subscription. All righty. And I was just looking at it. You can watch Attack of the Mushroom People. That's on there.
Matango.
20 Million Miles to Earth is on there, which is one we got to do. It's one of my favorite movies from when I was a kid. So we will keep doing stuff from that air. Spoiler alert. This movie is how many bajillion? It's almost 60 years old, 47 years old, 57 years old.
47.
Math on the fly again.
It's a year older than I am. No,
yes, I am. What was your first clue? So on this podcast, we start with some basic details about the film, followed by our first impressions and the movie, and then we'll move into a general discussion. So our topic today is the Reptile. And this is a character named Mad Peter, played by John Laurie, I believe. I should never speak from memory. Yes, John Laurie.
John Laurie.
And I just enjoyed the heck out of him in this movie. The Reptile is directed by John Gilling, written by Anthony Hines as John Elder, his pseudonym. The cast includes Noel Willman, Jennifer Daniel, Roy Barrett, Jacqueline Pierce, Michael Ripper, John Laurie, and Marn Maitland. Production company is Hammer Films and Seven Arts. It's kind of a joint thing. Filmed in England at Bray Studios in Oakley Court in Berkshire and Frensham Ponds in Surrey. Filming date September 23rd to October 22nd, 1965. Released February 20th, 1966 in Leicester. And March 6th, 1966, wide release in UK, and finally April 6th, 1966 in the US. The budget is £100,600. which is equivalent to about $280,000 at that time. The synopsis: Harry Spalding and his wife Valerie inherit a cottage in a small country village after his brother mysteriously dies. The locals are unfriendly, and his neighbor, Dr. Franklyn, a doctor of theology, suggests they leave. They decide to stay only to find that a mysterious evil plagues the community. And there you go. Not a bad synopsis.
No, it works. It's perfect.
Could have been worse. So now it's time for first impressions. And since this is Daphne's pick, she will go first.
Well,
I just film, and why did you pick it?
Well, I want to start off with saying you're welcome again to I'm sure that you all love this movie. Looking at you, Chad.
Well, yeah, it's a 7 arts film. Didn't I say the next movie we're going to do would be a 7 arts film?
No, I'm just kidding. I hadn't seen this before, and I just liked the pictures from it that I saw, and I wanted to do a Hammer movie, so I picked it, and I really, really liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought the performances were good. I totally loved the, as usual with the Hammer movie, the set design and the colors and costumes. And it was really interesting. It made me think a lot about stuff, colonization and in movies and stuff like that. And it got me looking into Rosemary Burroughs a lot, who's a costumer for Hammer, who does amazing work. And I really liked it. So I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say about it.
Alrighty then. Chad! What did you think of the Reptile? Had you seen this before?
I actually have not seen it. I remember seeing pictures of it in Famous Monsters and stuff like that, but never ended up seeing it anywhere. So this is my first time seeing it, and believe it or not, Daphne, I liked it. I liked it. Yeah, even if it is a 7 arts Hammer. But yeah, it was really, and I gotta see it again, but I gotta see a better copy with better sound and everything than how we watched it, because the sound came off really tinny, and I couldn't understand what they were saying a lot of times. But it made me want to watch it again. I mean, I like the story behind it. Michael Ripper,
oh man,
fantastic in this, and I think this is one of my favorite things of his he's done. He just and I can't remember who said it, Jeff or Doc, said he was the hero of this film. Maybe I think he was.
I think so. I think so. Yeah,
he was a really cool,
a reluctant hero at that.
Yeah. So he was really good. And the guy that played the husband, Kenneth Copeland, or he looked like Kenneth Copeland, the televangelist. But that's how I kept thinking of him anyway. And don't you forget it. I liked him. The whole storyline was kind of good. I thought I really liked that. I liked the Christopher Lee look-alike guy that was the sort of the cult guy. I liked him a lot. Liked him. He was kind of creepy, and loved the Reptile itself. It was really, really cool. And all this time I've seen pictures and stuff like that, I never knew it was a woman in the movie. So I thought that was really cool. Because I just saw, you just see pictures of the face, and I never could tell it was a woman. So that was cool to find out. And and I especially like the makeup a lot. It looked better from a distance in shadow more than it did like up close. I thought it was creepier. It would be creepier that way when it was in the dark more. But yeah, I liked it. I really liked it. Hey, Mikey.
Mikey says.
All right, thank you, Chad. Doc, what about you? I'm sure you've seen this before.
Oh yeah, I own it. I've seen this one many a times. It's one of my favorite of this early to mid '60s when Hammer started exploring other creatures, other monsters, or making up their own, like they did here. This one, the Gorgon, Plague of the Zombies, are some of my favorites from the early mid '60s. This one, Michael Ripper has like a larger role than he typically does, which is wonderful because he's actually a really good actor. He's funny, he's intense, he's believable. It's he should have had bigger roles throughout Hammer's history. This one proves it. I love this film. I love the original creature. I love the origin of it, if you will. I like the setup, with where the family comes in not knowing everything because they inherit this broken down house. And the town, well, a lot of times in these are Universal films, the town are against the new people, right? That's kind of to be expected, but it works here. And there's some interesting aspects to the doctor, Dr. Franklyn, who is not that kind of doctor. I'm a doctor of theology, but I'll go look anyway. I don't know. Yeah. For me, everything works. This, I think the creature looks great, and except like Chad said, there are sometimes when it gets a little too close, and you can see kind of the edges. But for the time, and I don't know. To me, it works. I'm totally able to, believe it in the context of the story. I love it. I love this film. It's one of my favorites.
Excellent. I loved it too, and I hadn't seen it, and I own it, so I was listening to. There's like multiple commentaries on it, and
oh, nice.
It's really fun. And it's like, I don't know what it is. There's something about the movies we do for these podcasts that the more I watch it, the more affection I have for the movie, I think, as you see that what they did and why they did certain things, etc. But I think it's got some seriously disturbing scenes in this. I was every time the snake woman shows up, the reptile, I guess.
The reptile.
Is creepy as all get out, and then the effects, the Black Death of them was just, man, within seconds. So anyway,
except for Kenneth Copeland.
Well, they dug it out.
Yeah,
and it went through his collar. It went through his collar, so he had a.
So he had a hot minute to get somewhere.
Yeah,
he did. And of course, again, Michael Ripper. But then we get some of these other characters. We get this John Laurie, who was in the opening slide, who plays a character called Mad Peter. We get George Woodbridge, who was actually in the most recent Hammer film I think we did was the Revenge of Frankenstein, and George Woodbridge was in that. Anyway, it's fun stuff, and I had a ball. And again, Hammer, the costumes, the production design, the music was all up to par, I thought. I was really kind of impressed how they did those. Some of the sets were really small, that house that they lived in. And they did a really good job of maneuvering around in there and shooting those scenes. So, at any rate, I believe I will stop there. But we do have some taglines for this film.
No, we don't.
So that might just mean it's time for Taglines with Chad.
Yeah. Woo. I'll clap.
Wait,
Okay. The taglines for the Reptile are sucky. Are as follows.
That might be true.
Yeah.
Huh.
Half woman, half snake. For one thin dime, you can see it, folks. Half woman, half snake.
It does sound like it.
Yeah.
Psych.
And the terror of the Reptile. Tonight on Masterpiece Theater. What strange power made her half woman, half snake? Ask yourself for one thin dime. Step right up.
One thin dime.
A new experience in terror. A new dimension in suspense. Meet the Reptile. Why do I do this? I put my heart and soul in this, and what do I get? Crickets. Horror of the year. Nothing for the faint of heart.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doc. It comes crawling.
I don't
Why crawling?
know.
I don't know.
Probably because it's on
I
fire.
don't know.
Fire.
Excellent.
Are you
Yeah.
ready to burn?
Crawling. And that's been Taglines with Chad.
And it was my pleasure to deliver them with such zest and vigor.
As
Zest.
always.
Was it our
Zest.
pleasure?
Beautiful.
All right. Moving on to where we would see these taglines. So this is
I'm spoiled because I
Poster.
didn't have to do taglines on the last DOH. That's why I'm
yeah, we didn't do it on the last 80s because there wasn't enough time. But
yeah, we got plenty of time right now.
the reptile, the dreaded curse of the orang sancto turned her into a slithering snake. Now, why wasn't that one of the taglines?
I don't know, but there it is. That's the answer to that delicate question.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who or what made her this way?
The dreaded curse of the orang sancto.
That'd have been a better.
And we got two guys fighting there.
Mm-hmm.
And we have
Look at 'em
3
go.
guys looking in shocked, and somebody, I don't know, what are they doing? Wincing in terror.
From the reptile herself.
I like the pattern on the lettering.
Yes.
They
Yes.
got some nice.
Yeah.
Nice scaly kind of.
That's
I think
a pretty,
this is also the cover on the Blu-ray. I
yes,
ended up
it is.
getting the Blu-ray. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Good.
Mm-hmm.
Well worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was shown. So you know this, Doc, about the 4 movies that Hammer shot sequentially.
Plague of Zombies was shot with this simultaneously by the
And,
same director.
and Rasputin the Mad Monk.
The Mad Monk.
Excellent movie.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the Dracula ones, Dracula Prince of Darkness. All 4 of those were shot like boom, 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 boom. And then Dracula Prince of Darkness and Plague of Zombies were
Paired together.
double featured together, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you remember, see, Doc, I don't think Doc was with us when we did Rasputin the Mad Monk.
No, I
The
missed that.
coolest promotion
Mhm.
ever.
The Mad
The
Monk.
beard. You
Get
your
the
rest-
beard.
Get your own
Beard.
beard.
I forgot the beard. Oh man.
And I didn't realize it before, but as I was looking this time, disguise yourself from the forces of evil. Get your Rasputin beard free as you enter. There was, and it says given to guys and gals alike. And in the some of the promos, they had different colors. Guys, get your
Yeah, I saw a
like
purple
your
one.
blue Rasputin beard. Gals, get your red Rasputin beard or something.
Oh man.
Just crazy stuff. But there it
That
is.
sounds awesome.
And the terror of. That's a good movie too. Rasputin is fun. Now, here we go. We have a Turkish poster,
Oh, that's cool.
which looks pretty similar. I didn't do the AKAs. This particular one, Esserengas Olumler, is murderous deaths.
Okay.
The Black Death.
And you can probably guess what this is. Our double language one with that's I think it's French and Dutch. Le Mort Noir,
The Black Death.
Yeah, and Die Zwarte Dude.
Dude.
What's up, dude?
What was the other one?
Hey.
70s we had the Dudekus. And
The
that means the
Dudekus.
Black Death too. It's
The
just
Black Death, yeah. Swarte.
yeah. And there's nothing special about these. They're pretty much the same as the other one, just they mix the colors differently.
I like the colors in the Turkish one. Really pops a lot better than
It gives a lot more of
the green one.
Has the people stand out more there in the bottom.
Somebody
we've
retrieved
got
that one on the bottom.
No, they did.
a couple of French posters.
Those
The
are
woman
cool.
reptile.
I like that bottom one a lot.
A lot. Burn.
La femme reptile.
They both have kind of a river.
It's fragile.
La femme reptile.
Now this one gets the win as the most suggestive poster.
Oh dear.
Reptilian.
Mom, is that a penis?
No, dear, it's a snake.
Doesn't look
No.
like
The
a
color,
snake.
the colors are really nice though. I like it.
Yeah, no, it
Like
is kind
the
of
red
neat
on
with
the lip.
hands
Yeah.
coming out, the red on the lips, and very strange. And I believe that is Danish. I tried to look up reptilian, but it was hard to.
That's
A couple different things come up.
Those look like sound effects in a comic book action scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. And finally, Italian. La morte arriva.
She's not nearly naked
I
enough
can't
for this to
remember
be
what
the Italian poster.
Mm.
That thought did cross my mind too. Oh, that's
But
a really good.
different.
That's a really good
Definitely
scene.
different.
I really like that they took like the shot up in the corner with I don't know, just the kind of it shows some of the grimness of the movie. And I don't know. I really liked the actor who played the lead even though Ripper was the hero, this guy was kind of the hero too. But I just thought I really liked how he looked. He looked really interesting, and
The
you
guy
can
got
really
partially bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you
George. George.
and sorry, yeah, I can't. His name is escaping me. But yeah, Harry George. Was that Harry George?
Is Harry George Spalding? I think they called him.
We'll just call him Captain Spalding.
Captain
Didn't they-
Spalding.
Yeah. Then they call him George though instead of Harry, or
I
make
don't
that up?
know.
I feel like I
Right.
might have made that up.
You know, I have been known to actually copy something wrong too.
Captain Spalding with the giant briefcase is what we should call him. But
Mm.
this face, just the facial expression here with the reptile, I really
Yeah.
dig.
Ah!
Yeah.
So that's it for the posters. But we also have the director, John Gilling. Where have we heard that name
Yes.
before? Well, heck. I'm not sure we've done. I thought we had done some of his movies before, but he also did Plague of the Zombies. That was in this 4.
Yeah, they actually
Fiend.
not only did they shoot in sequence, they actually shot that simultaneously and shared sets and stuff. There's all kinds of fun stuff going on.
And shared actors and crew and yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love Plague of the Zombies too.
Yeah.
So he did the Mummy's Shroud too, and I'm like the only one in this crowd that likes that movie, right?
Well, I liked it because it's
I've
got
never
a big
seen
part for Michael Ripper. That's
Yeah, I
another
haven't
one.
seen the Mummy Shroud, but I want to see it after watching this. And
Nor have I seen Plague of Zombies.
Oh, Plague of Zombies, you got to
Plague-
see.
I got Plague of Zombies too to watch together to see them. Yeah, it was really good.
Well, if it, you know,
It's
if
kind
you
of the
sign up
last
for
of the.
you sign up for the Screen Factory emails, and they send you these going out of print sales.
Mm.
Get
That
them
sounds
while they
dangerous.
last.
As
Even
far
though
as you know.
the movie shows up year after year, and they're going out of print sales. So yeah, and this one up top, I gotta see that at some point. The gamma,
The
people.
Gamma people.
Gamma ray creatures loose.
Oh, smash.
Paul Douglas. Flesh for the Fiends. Have you seen that? That's a Cushing movie.
No, never seen heard or seen that.
I know about it, but I have not seen it. I think it also has. I haven't seen the Blood Beast from Outer Space either.
Well, that sounds a little bit on the lower rent side, but at any rate, he did a bunch of other Hammer stuff that was just sort of the straight horror.
Pirates of Blood River.
10 episodes of The Saint. Oh, the Blood Beast from Outer Space also stars John Saxon. The Crimson Blade, the Pirates of Blood River, the Shadow of the Cat. Those are all Hammer films. He did those. So anyway. So what do you think? Was there anything in particular about the directing that made you go, this is cool?
I like how I like the there was some shots that he did around the little cabin that they were living in, or the little cottage. There's a couple times when he came from, like when the wife was her name Valerie? Yeah. When yes. Valerie was getting water from the water pump and you see the doctor come up from behind her, just this shot kind of comes from the front of her and then stops and you see the doctor come out from behind. I just thought that was really interesting. I felt like really throughout this whole movie, I felt really kind of like, I don't know if manipulated is the right word, but like the tension building kind of intentionally, with how you see the same thing happen with three different characters. The first character running to the house, getting a letter, running to the house, you see what happens with him. And then, so when you see it happen to the other characters, one right after the other, what they're going into. So I really felt like that built the tension. And I liked how a lot of the camera shots were kind of from when they're walking into the manor, kind of from behind. So you're just kind of watching this thing happen that you've seen, twice before or once before. I really appreciated that. And there was, I don't know if it was his directing or if it was the set design, but I thought it was just so atmospheric, again, like always, just so rich with watching, even when I watched the Plague of Zombies, and I was kind of looking to find some of the similarities between the sets, even though you could tell they were the same, the set dressing just changed the feel of each of the rooms. Mm-hmm. And it's just amazing how it just really sets you in that story. So that probably was a part of it too, but I don't know how much that had to do with Gilling, but I thought there was a lot of really interesting.
I'm sorry, Daphne.
I was just going to say, I thought there were some really interesting camera things that I felt really kind of like, I could tell that I was being, I don't know, I was not, again, I don't know if manipulated is the right word, but it just took me, I could tell that I was being taken, I was in the hands of someone who knew what they were doing.
Yeah. Like the zoom to the door when the doctor showed up unexpectedly.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Right. Scary doctor here.
Yeah. Or Mad Peter at the window.
Mad Peter. Yeah, I think what the best quality is that the storytelling is top notch. It may not be flashy, although Daphne is pointing out some stuff that could be considered that way. It's just solid. It just tells the story nice, and you follow it. It doesn't feel like TV. Sometimes that kind of approach feels like television. This doesn't feel like television. It feels cinematic. And he handles maybe the cinematography instead, but he handles like the creature itself really well.
The use of shadow on the creature. It's really good. That's why I want to see a better copy. I'm sure there's things that I was missing because I was so focused on trying to watch the main characters. The copy was kind of grainy that we saw.
It's really not streaming now, except we found a copy on archive.org, but it's not the best.
Yeah, and thanks for watching that one. If that was the only one available, thank you for watching that.
It was, but I was still drawn in by the story and the people and the creature and everything. I'm afraid that I missed, how Hammer films, the sets are so gorgeous and like Daphne brought up, they're dressed the way they're dressed really makes the scene and the film. I felt like I missed some of that because of the graininess, maybe of the quality of the copy that we watched. But I want to see it again so I can, because I'm sure it's a lot more colorful and a lot more, better than what we saw.
Well, I think we'll see it later, but that things like the dress that she wears as the snake woman is amazing. It's really an amazing dress. Okay, so John Gilling. Now the writer was Anthony Hines, writing as John Elder. Anthony Hines produced 37 out of the first 50 films released by Hammer.
Yeah.
But he wrote all of these, plus more. I just threw these up there. Rasputin, the Mad Monk, Captain Clegg, or is that the one known as Night Creatures as well?
Night Creatures, yeah.
Phantom of the Opera, Taste the Blood of Dracula, Scars of Dracula, Kiss of the Vampire, Frankenstein created woman, The Evil of Frankenstein
Frankenstein and a Mother from Hell.
And I can't believe I left this one off. I meant to put it on, but I forgot it. Curse of the Werewolf.
Yep. And he's uncredited for Brides of Dracula, which is another great one.
Yep.
Monster from Hell. What a bonkers gonzo ending that movie had.
And he also did non-Hammer stuff that we've done in the 70s, The Ghoul, Legend of the Werewolf.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. After
they said that he was such a private character that in 1963, after he had already produced over 50 films, he was still telling his neighbors that he was a hairdresser.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Is that the Herbert Lom Phantom?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
I haven't seen that yet. I need to watch it.
It's
I know. I figure I'll like it.
So what did he write a great story for the Reptile, or?
He did.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought so.
But it was my understanding that Gilling said he did a lot of rewrites and stuff. So I'm not sure really what was what and who's telling, you know what I mean? I don't know. Did you guys hear about that with any of the research or anything? I think they talked about it a little bit on the commentary.
Yeah, what I got from the commentaries was Gilling was described as, well, the worst description was he was a bully.
Yeah.
And the best description was he could be a bit prickly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I would take that with a grain of salt on how much he rewrote.
Yeah. Whoever did it, it's a great story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. We will probably never know. But I thought it was an excellent story, and I really liked the way it was shot. It just was. I thought it was well done, and it moves right along.
Yeah.
Some of the interviews that I read, I think with Jacqueline Pierce, she said that he just kind of let the actors, do their thing, and Michael Ripper said that he was one of the best. Gilling brought out some of his best work. He didn't really say how, but he just said that he really liked working with him. And,
well, the guy that called him a bully was assistant director.
No, that makes sense.
So I think he was more this idea of being hard on people was more with the crew than you better have your crap together and stuff ready to go.
Yeah.
Time is money kind of thing. Whereas
Michael Ripper didn't say like that they were friends necessarily, but his directing worked for him. Yeah. Well, the way I read an interview with him, and the way he talks, he says a lot of really kind of crass and condescending and sometimes cruel things about some of the people
Right.
he works with.
Right.
So, yeah, it is kind of hard to say. And Tony Hines writes lots of really good stuff. So,
Yeah.
I see that this film was pitched to Universal 3 years earlier under the title "The Curse of the Reptiles," which I guess they passed on. Since they didn't make it.
Yeah.
I guess it's easy to assume, right? I just found it. "Curse of the Reptiles" an interesting title. The reptiles more direct, but.
mhm.
All right. Well, the cast. There is, yeah. So in the top picture, we've got Michael Ripper, who plays Tom Bailey, who owns the local pub. Ray Barrett, who is Captain Spalding and whose brother just died and left him the cottage. What was it called? Lark's Rise?
Something. Lark's.
And
Yeah,
then,
I don't know.
In the bottom picture here, we have Jennifer Daniel, who plays Valerie, Captain Spalding's wife, and Jacqueline Pierce, who plays Anna, aka the Snake Woman. Although I don't know if she was the one in the makeup or not. I assume she was.
She was.
She was, yeah.
They were. I kind of thought of these. The top two. Those were kind of the male leads, and then it's really the only. It's only two women in the movie, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought they both. I liked this Jennifer Daniels. The way they wrote that character. I liked the way she was written because she did not. I think she maybe screamed once.
Mm-hmm.
All the other times she was like a woman of action. She was doing something. She was getting out of there or fighting or whatever. She wasn't just screaming and paralyzed, etc.
She does wrangle the reptile a bit when they encounter each other. So she does have that great scream though that they use for the poster. The one where she backs, but then after that she's all action.
And when they first arrived in their house, their little cottage was all torn apart, and kind of the mysterious circumstances. She was committed. She was like, let's clean up and get going.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, I thought there was a couple scenes that were kind of funny with her because, like, there's one place where he says, "I don't want you walking out here alone," and then he's at the pub, and he just goes, "Well, you walk home. I'm going to stay here a bit." I'm like, wait a minute. What happened to not letting her go alone? I can't remember. There was some scene right after that where I'm thinking, what the heck? Anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, and she didn't blink when Mad Peter stayed for dinner.
What? She was a little, but at the same time, she treated him like a guest and respect like you would give a guest, even though he obviously stank.
That was such a great scene, though. That was such a great scene. I just loved it with the grease on his face from the food, and
he grabs the thing off.
He grabs the other guy's chicken. He doesn't even ask him.
He just grabs it. And
That's Mad Peter for you.
And he looks at his wife and goes,
"Yeah."
But I also like that he was kind of introduced as not too crazy when you first see him. I think he's there at the cemetery when they're bringing.
Yeah,
he's like that must be his non-mad times. But and then you see him later and he's all wigged out. I kind of liked that.
Well, everybody else seems like it's like you don't talk about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, he's kind of like, yes, you do. This is crazy. All these people are dying, and you idiots.
And I also like that he heard the music, and that other people didn't always hear the music. So it was kind of like, what was that connection? They didn't really go into it, but I liked that he could hear the music before anybody else. And
grab that hair and pull it out.
Exactly. Run his fingers through.
So that's the guy you said was Ray Barrett was the guy you said was the evangelist, Chad? Or that reminded you of Kenneth Copeland?
Yeah.
Okay.
For some reason, I don't know.
Okay. If he did, he did.
Could be the pain meds. I don't know.
Here's good old Noel Willman.
Gosh, he was good too. Yeah.
He was. He made a good
Yeah.
sort of villain. I mean, he is villainous, but he is not the ultimate villain.
Yeah, he's sort of I've gone psycho villain.
He was nasty.
A bit of a dick. Yeah.
Yeah, but he really, when you first met him, you thought you knew exactly who he was, and then you actually started to see him as a little, almost with some sympathy of what he had gone through, even though he was a jerk and evil. But he was. Yeah.
I'm a doctor of divinity.
But he was definitely, being manipulated and under the thumb of Marnie Maitland's character, who only doesn't have a whole lot of lines. He just kind of looks menacing through windows.
He looked like a snake without makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a really good job too. But I
was just going to say, it's nice that they had a guy that was born in India play a guy that was born in India.
True. Doesn't always happen, does it? Especially back in. But, that worked.
It's usually guys from Kentucky. Can you play this Indian guy? I think so. I'll try. I don't know. I ain't never done it before, but I'll try.
I would like to see the Sammy Castle version of this.
It would have all been a lot of overacting and.
He was good.
A lot more twanging.
He reacted with glee when people were really uncomfortable or scared or being attacked and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but he showed his true nature when his daughter was playing the music and getting on his nerves.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah. Doesn't he do like the Animal House routine on that thing and bust it over her head?
Close to it. Close.
Yeah.
Close.
So I just threw these up as some example of production design. I mean, those columns and the dress she's wearing in that top picture, and then that middle picture where she's playing the sitar. I just thought that scene was awesome.
Yeah, there's a sitar.
It was. I didn't get why he was getting so upset that she was.
Well, she was playing
the music of the snake there at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She gave him the snake eye as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
he
that
did
was
kind of freak out because he asked her to play, right?
Yeah.
And Spalding goes, I think we should go. I think it's time to go.
Well, and I liked how there was just all this tension there that you didn't really understand what was happening. Like you didn't really know everything that was behind their story, but you knew the tension. And I really, really liked how that built. And I really like how Jacqueline Pierce, just the way she looked and how they looked at each other, and there was just a lot of chemistry there that you're like, what the hell? And then he picks it up, and that's another one of the angles was really low down, like from her POV up to him, and it was a very kind of weird angle. It was like I don't know, like subservient almost, or like it
definitely made him more imposing.
Yeah, and it was a strange angle, and I really liked that. Yeah.
And then,
the thing that I thought was cool about the sitar too is that's right about the time, maybe probably when they were shooting this, is about the time that the Beatles started.
Yeah.
The England was getting infiltrated with that stuff.
And maybe George Harrison was on set going,
I
like that.
It was a popular thing. I mean, they only put it on Norwegian on Rubber Soul. They had some sitar on Rubber Soul.
John, have you ever heard of the movie The Reptile?
Well, I think it's the other way around. It had become a cultural thing, so we're going to put this. And it's from India, and these people are from India, so
let's put it in.
And Ripper looks dapper in his outfit, and that nice little beard thing going on.
God. I love that beard. I love that beard. That was so awesome. and his pea coat and every. Oh, he was.
This movie
great.
made me think, why has he not had more prominent roles?
I know.
Yeah, he was just he was a regular, like, in these little bit roles,
And he was
but
great in them.
He deserved more roles like this.
Mm-hmm.
He blew me away in this when I was. This is the biggest role I've ever seen him in, and it just blew me away how good he was in it.
He does make a great barkeep, though.
Yes, he does. He is very good at those other ones, but to see him
he
with
seems so
more of a
natural.
character,
Well, he
a
starts
lot-
off like, I'm not giving this up. I've worked all my
Uh-huh.
life to have this place, and I'm not giving it up. And then the more he thinks about it, the more he realizes he's got to help.
Yeah, when he
So
shows up that's a great scene when he shows up at the door. I have to help you. But I also like it when he goes, there you go, scaring my customers away again.
Yeah. There was definitely a warmth in his character, and it's like and when he was so comfortable around the dead bodies, I really was like, oh yeah, he's seen a lot. These guys have seen a lot.
That's
and
right, 'cause
they're comfortable. Yeah, I totally
They
bought it from him.
shared the war stories, didn't they?
Yeah.
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 Their camaraderie, you totally
Yeah.
believe. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
one of the great things about this movie is all the situations the characters in the case of the the family, what's his name, Franklyn and his daughter, that comes later, but everybody else is like right out of the gate. You get it.
And I also like how you just assume that Spalding is going to be is the hero, and he kind of is, but then out of nowhere comes Ripper, and he becomes the superhero, the hero.
That's
of the
basically
movie.
the wife, and Ripper breaks the glass so that
Because our guy is he's all
he's
reptiled up, right? Yeah. Yeah, but he does. He can't get in the house, so he goes to the window, and it's a really great scene. He's almost takes a couple cues from Peter Cushing there. So,
but even before that, when they were like in the grave, and sure that Spalding was reacting to the death of his brother and all the crazy stuff that was going on, but he was almost like frozen, was unable to take action, and had to be kind of like taken care of a little bit by Ripper's character.
yeah, had to be prodded to get in there.
Yeah,
Actually, do something. Grab that shovel.
right. Yeah.
Well, just to throw these guys up here quick, the first guy was the Captain Spalding's brother, and that's David Barron. And then the guy in the middle is the solicitor, the lawyer.
Oh yeah,
that delivers the estate. He's played by Harold Goldblatt. And then George Woodbridge. This is his last Hammer film. But all three of these guys have a lot of credits and are very well known in British, acting. So without getting into a bunch of stuff, but they don't have a lot of lines. Well, the top guy doesn't have any lines. I think he just screams, doesn't he? But the other two are, especially George Woodbridge at the bottom. He just says this one line about, screw you. Basically, you're going to accuse me of that shit. I ain't drinking with you. But he does. He has that voice and that mannerism that makes his one line memorable, at least for me. And the solicitor was just a bit, oh, you're going to go. Well, I guess
you'll need this key. You think?
So we talked about the Black Death, and it's hard to get them to show up right. But these are pretty good. At least they got foaming at the mouth. They get black. They get
kind of blistery. It's kind of hard to see though, but
yeah.
Great effect though.
It does make a strong impression in the movie though.
It does. This thing bites them and they spin around and boom.
I love the scene when Valerie has to take the knife to Spalding's neck, and he just like. I love that she just. Yeah, I love how she did it. She just did it. She just grabbed it and just went in there. It's like, how do you know to do that? Anyway.
Yeah, so those are, and then they have to. I don't know if I got pictures of that or not, but there's some more Black Death. Oh, there's Bad Peter up against the window.
Oh, that was a good scene, though.
Oh, that was scary.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
And it was real too, because we don't think about it, but glass, glass was not a refined manufacturing technique back then, so it would have been kind of ripply like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and there's another low angle shot in with the body.
And then there's the above the shoulder one looking down.
Yeah, Mad
and then
Peter
they're looking at the back of his neck to see the two marks.
You see that right there? That's a tattoo. It says "Mom."
Mom.
What's that have to do with anything? I don't know.
It says Ringo.
But look at just like the room behind him in that middle picture, It's just there was one place in the commentary where they were talking about this, and I wasn't sure if it was I was trying to pay attention, but I believed what they said. But that how when they moved in, when the Spaldings moved into the place that his brother used to live in, that there were faded places on the wall where pictures had hung, and that it was impressive that they went to that detail, because that's the way it would be when you moved into a new place and you put up your own pictures. There would be places that didn't match, Anyway.
I noticed that too, and I didn't know how much of that was planned necessarily, or if it was like, well, we're using this set again. But it's absolutely right. That it does give that feel of they're turning this into their home. They're committed to living their life here, so they're going to move pictures around. They're going to make it theirs. Yeah,
absolutely, worked out well.
And I got one more Black Death.
What a great comparison too. They have almost the same turn.
That's where you can see the collar. So he only got it in the neck and didn't get him all the way through. But that's nasty looking.
Yeah.
Man, is that nasty looking.
Because those are the brothers, right? That's his brother up top.
Brother,
But man, I was gonna say it almost looks like the same guy, doesn't it?
They dig up the graves to check them out.
I didn't even think about the shot being the same, but yeah, that's exactly the same. And just looking at that, it's like, is that some sort of like what's growing on his face? What's happening? Is that skin? Is that breaking down? Is that gross?
Well, especially under his neck at the bottom picture, looks like it's. It looks like it's a weeks old festering wound,
Yeah, some big necrotic blister or something. It's just
half frostbite, half blistery. Kind of stuff. I don't know. I've never seen a snake bite. I don't know if that's what a snake. You see.
Well, if it's human size.
That's
true.
Here
you go.
Human size.
here's our titular character.
Yeah.
And that is
you can't say that without giggling, can you?
I know, I can't.
Nah.
I used to give Joseph Perry crap about that. Say that's 3 syllables. Why don't you say title character? It's only 2 syllables. The eyes are a little funky, but they work. Somehow they work.
Yeah. It's in context, they absolutely do. Yeah. And they look great clothes down below. I don't even though I saw it, I didn't really catch that. But you can see in the close up in the middle where you can start to see around the mouth, you see the little bit of the edges, but at the same time, I don't think it matters. Like in the movie, in the moment, it works great. And the way, it works.
Well,
that's all you gotta say.
Yeah, that whole thing when she was shedding her skin too.
Yeah.
And writhing under that blanket, it was just creepy.
Well, I felt like when you think about her shedding her skin, that kind of I don't know. It's kind of make it a little bit easier to accept some folds that you might see. I mean, yes, obviously it's a mask, but the shedding of the skin was just such an icky thing. It's such a visual thing.
It is.
And then with him hitting it, that was so great. I loved that they did. I didn't see that coming at all, and I just thought it was great.
Well, the teeth seem like a unique choice to me too, because there's no teeth between the fangs, and I don't know why that just looks, I mean, like a snake, I guess, doesn't. But we're used to seeing vampires with fangs, and they have to. I don't know, something about that is creepier to me. It creeps me out. Those eyes are just
snakes have tiny little teeth, and then the fangs are separate, almost separate from the teeth.
Yeah.
Oh.
But great. They're great fangs. They made her look scary.
They look like they go there.
Yep.
I hear some attacks. Yeah.
That is a great scream. It's a great in the middle.
The top one looks like a painting almost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's some of them. There's a bunch of the images from this movie. Where there's like smoke or haze built in.
Well, in the top one, there actually is smoke because the house is on fire. And maybe the bottom one too. Doesn't he get attacked after the fire starts?
I think so. Yeah. Boy, he really loses it at the end. You see that he's gone completely bonkers, setting the house on fire, keeping things warm for Anna. I thought the acting was really good in this.
It was
solid. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I think I got one more.
It's a shame that when it got released, it didn't make a bigger impression.
Yeah.
One of the things that happened is that this film didn't do as well as they wanted it to, so Hammer reverted back from creating new properties back to doing Dracula and Frankenstein more.
Yeah. So I don't know why, but these shots, and I didn't do anything to them. They're just far greener. Let's put it that way. Wherever I got them from had messed with them a little bit, I think, but.
That top one's beautiful. The top one is really beautiful.
In the shadow, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the one on the bottom too gives me a better. The dress wasn't that green. I think it was a real dark green, but the swirls or iridescence on it is
such a great choice. Such a beautiful
and then
choice.
The thing that. What did they call Martin? The Malay? I think they called him the Malay, and that meant he was from Malaysia or something. I don't know what that was.
I'm not really sure where he was supposed to be. Yeah.
And I think I got one more shot. I hope it's the one. Yeah.
Oh, the middle one is the skin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, he beats the hell out of it with a stick. I don't know.
I know. I was like, why is he doing that? Stupid skin.
And the top one, you can kind of see a little bit better of the dress. It was hard to find a good picture of the dress, but I just was really impressed with that.
Yeah.
And the design of it, I think, helped hide the makeup a little bit because it was a very, very high, tight collar.
Hey, you guys.
Well, and I think it also added to kind of like the slitheriness of her. Yeah, just the.
So what do they call it? Is there a name for that kind of material, Daphne?
I don't know if this is if it's really this, but I think iridescent is good. I'm sure it has some specific name but that's what I was thinking is that it's iridescent.
And then there's the bubbling pool in the basement. I don't know what it was, but. If you fell in there, you didn't come out.
Sulfur.
That's what I was thinking. It was sulfur.
Like Son of Frankenstein.
Nice fight there where he flips old Malay in there.
Rosemary Burrows, the costume designer, said that usually they had to rent the costumes or they use other costumes. but she was actually given money to buy fabric for this
Cool.
movie. So she got, so she, so that makes me think she made the decisions to go with like the dress and the colors for the sari that Anna's wearing. And
Well, I was looking at her up because that's one of those things you don't notice, but man, did she do a bunch of movies. This was a picture you had provided, and I suppose it's fuzzy on the edge because is it from a book?
Yeah.
That's probably the curve of the spine or
of the page,
there. But she's
Yeah,
there in
that's
the
her in
middle
the back.
carrying fabric, right? Or clothes.
I actually asked Dick Clemenson about it and he said that he knew her and she was very private, and kind of guided me towards a couple of interviews with her. But yeah, she did so much stuff. She did so much stuff. Like she was on Gladiator too, I think, and she still made movies way after Hammer.
Yeah, V for Vendetta. She did the Dalmatian movies for Disney.
And I don't know what her role was in those, but she was listed in the wardrobe, in the costume.
Says 102 Dalmatians says costume supervisor.
Gladiator
costume supervisor.
Nice.
Great Balls of Fire costume supervisor.
Great Balls of Fire.
Year of the Comet.
I really wanted to find a better picture of this, because even without her, but this picture of Marn Maitland this is supposedly after the sulfur. I just think it's such a great picture. He looks just like he's having fun, and like you hear about Hammer and at Bray Studios, Bray and stuff, and how it was, this nice atmosphere. And I don't know if that was his experience, but I really like this photo.
She was a supervisor for Krull too.
I did see that.
Interesting. Interesting.
We did on 80s and the Keep wardrobe supervisor. Everything from that stuff like that to A Passage to India. Very impressive. Yeah, it's one of those people. There's not much written about her, so we got to get Dick on again. The last time I asked him, they were working on getting the last issue out. He was pretty busy, but anyway. Well, what else do we have to talk about here? Did we hit all the impressive scenes, I guess?
I think we did. Jacqueline Pierce was also in Plague of the Zombies as well as character Alice. But I think that's her only true Hammer films, if I'm looking at it.
I think you're right, Doc.
But she definitely makes an effective movie monster.
Yeah. Well, and even as just Anna, I thought she was just really sucked you in, and she did really.
She had she's a little like the women from I forget her name, but like for Island of Lost Souls and for Cat People, they have a kind of a feral quality to their look, or wild.
Yeah.
She definitely had that. One thing I appreciated when watching this movie, and also the commentators, I thought were really, I like how they commented on it, how they described it. And they were talking a little bit about, just really briefly, about how Hammer kind of responded to British colonialism in their movies, and just how they kind of acknowledged that, Britain had this long, violent history of colonization. And they acknowledged that, but the other, or the foreigner, was still the bad guy. And even they still kind of took that conservative approach in their movies. And you see that here with the Malay,
Mhm.
and I appreciated that just kind of simple discussion of it and acknowledgement of it, because
Mhm.
especially when I watched The Plague of Zombies, it's in there too, where you see that. And
Oh, yeah, definitely. More so.
yeah. And so I just appreciated that. That kind of stuff is really important to me. And I liked seeing that.
Yeah,
And I
we
think
need-
it was really interesting that Marn Maitland played that character. I know he played a lot of kind of, you're the person with brown skin in this movie, but they didn't have someone else playing that, that role, that at least. So I appreciated that. What were you going to say, Doc? I'm sorry.
I don't recall.
Oh, sorry.
Jennifer Daniel, who played Valerie Barrett, was also in A Kiss of the Vampire. Kiss of the Vampire, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, all righty.
Good pick, Daph.
Thanks.
It was.
Yes.
And
Have we?
I didn't mean to sound like a big jerk at the beginning. I was just trying to joke about how. Yeah, I know. Just try and joke about how I said you're welcome for the head, and I know that went over really well. But I'm glad you guys liked this one.
Yeah, I gotta call him like I see him.
Yeah.
Have you covered Plague of Zombies yet on this?
No.
So we have to do that this year.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be right away, but it's got to be this year.
I dug this. This is a classic. It's neat that it's not one of the Dracula, Frankenstein, or even Mummy movies.
I thought it was a pretty good effort for them going out of their normal thing and trying to do something on their own like that, create a new monster. For that reason alone, it's noteworthy. But it also happens to be a good movie.
So you got to hand it to Roy Ashton too for
the makeup. Yeah,
the makeup having to come up with totally new.
Yeah, I mean he did the same thing for all the other films too. But yeah.
Alrighty.
And Michael Ripper.
Yeah.
He was good. The other part that I've seen, I'm not saying he doesn't have other ones, but the other time I've seen him with a big part is The Mummy Shroud. And he plays kind of a smarmy hotel manager that was running around following this.
I haven't seen that one either, and I definitely wanted to see it even more now, hearing that it's a Gilling directed and more Ripper role.
Yeah. He played Longbarrow is the name of the character. In Plague of Zombies, he's Sergeant Swift. Supporting character. So.
Okie dokie, folks. Well, we're going to skip feedback today because it's late.
It's almost midnight here on the East Coast.
So appreciate everybody hanging in and
we'll read it though. We'll read
schedule slides. But it was fun. And I got to watch this movie I don't know. I can't remember if it was this one or someone. I think it was this one. Did this one have 3 commentaries?
I'm not sure. I know it has. I thought it was only one and an interview, but maybe there was another commentary that I just didn't see.
I know there was 2. There was one with Ted Newsom, Steve Haberman, and Constantine Nasser.
That's the one I listened to. Yeah.
Oh, maybe that is the only one they had.
But there was an interview with the assistant director.
Oh, I know what I'm thinking.
Mentioned.
Vampire Lovers had 3.
Oh.
Deals. Yeah, the assistant director. Yeah. He was kind of a dry character, but it was interesting. He was talking about shooting day for night.
Yes.
And the differences between doing that if it's sunny or if it's cloudy out like it usually is in England.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. So Doc.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't read feedback tonight, I'm sorry. There's plenty of ways to stay in touch. Make comments here on the Gruesome Magazine YouTube channel, or send emails to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com, or go to our Facebook group at Gruesome Magazine's HNRDOH podcast Facebook group.
Yeah, go there. I dare
So
you.
we're going to do another one of these in 2 more weeks. And this one is chosen by Doc.
Yes.
What are we doing?
We are doing. We're gonna go quasi kaiju from England again. We're gonna do Conga
Yay.
this
Have
time.
not seen it.
Giant ape.
1961.
Mhm.
Well, at least at some point in the movie. it's a
Michael
giant
Goff.
Michael
Yes.
Goff.
Yeah, the answer to the
Yay.
question, as Godzilla is to Kong, Gorgo is to
ape. Conga.
That's the monster verse I want to see.
I just made that up.
It works though. It works though.
It kind of does. It kind of does. All right. Thanks, everybody. Catch us again here in 2 weeks for another great horror movie. The classic era is only decades of horror can do it. Thank you so much, Daphne, Chad, and Doc.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's so much
Absolutely.
It's always fun.
fun.
And thanks for staying up so late.
This is my favorite podcast of all time. I love the classic era.
I love the classic era too.
And I'm only saying that. None of the other people will hear. And the other DOH.
We're still recording. But nobody, it's all right. Nobody listens to it. Nobody listens to us.
I'll
All right.
keep it quiet.
Yeah.
Hey, good night, everybody.
Keep your mouth shut if you know what's good for you.
Exactly. Good night. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
See you later, alligators. Yeah.
Gruesome Magazine.